Hi, this is Tisch Aitken, and it is Thursday, March 21st, 2024. We are in eclipse season. We are also in Aries season because we just had the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere and the fall equinox in the southern hemisphere. This is one of two times of the year the sun is directly above the equator, and it results essentially in equal day and equal night. And in the northern hemisphere, this does mark the beginning of the spring season, and the spring equinox portends the year ahead. It is the astrological new year, and it also represents the season ahead. And in this spring equinox chart, this is the first time Pluto, the planet of transformation, is in the sign of Aquarius, where it will be the next 20 years. So that's a big deal. A lot of change with technology and society and huge change. But right now, we're focusing on the eclipses, which are imminent. We have a lunar eclipse that's going to occur on March 25th at 3 o'clock a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it occurs at 5 degrees and 7 minutes of the cardinal sign of Libra. And this eclipse is it's not a big lunar eclipse, it's a penumbral eclipse, means that the moon passes the faint outer shadow of the earth, the penumbra. And it's when the earth stands between the sun and the moon and cuts off the light of the sun to the moon, because the moon has no light of her own. And it is like a full moon on steroids. And in order to have an eclipse, the nodes of karma, known as the nodes of the moon, need to be within 18 degrees of the sun and the moon. And in this case, the nodes of the moon are within 10 degrees of this lunar eclipse. And a lunar eclipse is always a turning point. It's a culmination, it's a completion. Now, full moon generally is about endings, or maybe you're working on something and you finalize it, you sign that contract, whatever it might be. But with eclipses, I have seen major beginnings occur on lunar eclipses and major endings occur on new moon eclipses, otherwise known as solar eclipses. So for some people, there may be major beginnings with this full moon eclipse, but eclipses always entail a beginning and an ending. And again, a lunar eclipse tends to be more of a completion. It's like a full moon on steroids, and it's a south node eclipse in this case, which means there is something you are releasing. Maybe you're going towards something, but you need to release something in the process. And if you need to know where these eclipses occur for you in the Libra Aries axis, go to my website, astrologertishaken.com. And I will, if you give me your email address, I will send you your chart. So you have a copy of your chart, and it will let you know what houses these eclipses fall for you. In a couple of sentences, very quickly, just let you know where they're falling and where they hit for you, and a copy of your chart. So it's a great opportunity to know how this impacts you, because the big eclipse is the one on April 8th. It's a total solar eclipse in Aries, where the sun is very strong and exalted. It's exactly conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer. So it's a very powerful eclipse around healing, around being courageous and facing fear. And the north node of karma will only be within 4 degrees of that eclipse. So that's going to be a total solar eclipse. That's a new moon when the moon is conjunct the sun. It's the earth, moon is conjunct the earth and the sun. They're exactly on top of each other, and that marks a new cycle. Now, again, for some people, that new cycle might entail an ending, but it is a time you want to plant new seeds. You want to write down intentions of what you want to manifest. But if you want to start something new, wait a few weeks till both eclipses wane. If something comes into your lap out of the blue, if something comes to your door, eclipses are very fated. And again, the nodes of fate, that entails karmic and fated opportunities, meetings, job offers, could be a date that turns into a huge relationship. Things like that definitely can happen. Even with the South Node eclipse, that could be somebody with whom you have an innate connection. So don't, definitely say yes to invitations and offers. But if you're planning on something, wait a little bit until the energy wanes, because there can be an impulsive tone to all of this. So that's something to bear in mind. And the other thing, too, is that Mars, which is the planet of action and rules the sign of Aries, where the North Node of Karma is transiting, Mars is going to enter the sign of Pisces tomorrow on March 22nd, and it'll transit there through April 30th. And Mars in Pisces is not the strongest position. It's not in its detriment, but it almost could be. It feels, hard to get things going. And I think with that being said, it's very much about practicing spiritual practice, meditation, yoga, chanting, floating, going to the water, going in nature, things that are spiritual in their action and that calm your nerves. And the other thing, too, in the full moon eclipse chart on March 25th, Venus will be at 16 degrees of Pisces, where it is beautiful and exalted. Saturn will be at 12 degrees of Pisces. There can be, again, that underscores the fact there definitely could be breakups or restructuring, rethinking of relationships, what you value, your money and your finances, because Venus is money as well. But there also could be commitment. Saturn is the planet of commitment, of firming things up, bringing form to something. Maybe you've been dating somebody for a while and you take it to another level. So there's a big focus on I think on heavy decisions too. Libra is a sign of decisions. It's not a sign that loves making them. Libra is more about choices, but Libra is figuring out how to have balance and is very much about partnerships. But the idea, too, is that the biggest eclipse of the year will be on April 8th. You definitely want to know where that falls in your chart. That is a total solar eclipse, a new moon on steroids, which is about, even if it involves endings or twists and turns, and eclipses often are very unpredictable. You want to be fluid and elastic during eclipses, and the fact that you want to be flexible. Your plans can change, things can, get mixed around. And with the solar eclipse, though, that is where there's a lot of action and activity in your chart, whether it's in your house of career, your house of health, partnerships, etc. So you want to know where that's falling, and you want to set new intentions for that area. Where the lunar eclipse falls is where you're focusing on releasing and letting go of things that are blocking that area as well. So those are the two areas of your chart that you're experiencing the most activity. But it's going to be a big time because we're also going to have Mercury retrograde on April 1st, and it will retrograde at 27 degrees of Aries, which sets off where Pluto retrograded or stationed last fall in Capricorn. It's going to square that point. Again, what you need to release, rethinking of what you've been letting go, because we are now in the new age of Aquarius. And then Mercury will station direct on April 25th at 15 degrees of Aries, where the North Node of Karma currently is transiting. So we're getting a preview of the Mercury retrograde story, which occurs in the eclipse corridor between March 25th and April 8th. Mercury will be retrograde during that time. And the eclipses, I feel, can last up to a few months after. If you get hit strongly by it, they can happen on the day of the eclipse. Certainly, I think we've been feeling it for a little while building up. We're very much feeling it now. And don't do anything impulsive. Aries is a very impulsive sign. And also, unless something comes in out of the blue, that you want to pay attention to. Information that you have no idea about can come to light. Mars and Venus are in Pisces. Venus is in Pisces through, I believe, April 5th. It's definitely in Pisces now. Mars enters tomorrow through April 30th. We've got Saturn and Neptune, and they're going to meet up next March. So, a lot of Pisces themes about dreams and messages and dreaming, meditation, and working with this very frenetic, chaotic, active energy. Good luck and thank you so much. Take care.